Thursday edition of your number one breakfast show on television inside Nigeria. It's reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ogbewan. With me is my Thursday guest, and he is a political scientist and, of course, also a public affairs analyst, Olamilekan Adefolari. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thanks for having me. Very good morning to have you.
Yes. Thank you. Well, viewers, we have an array of newspapers, as you can see, spread on our table this morning for review. And incidentally, the news that is making the rounds is on DSS alert that some interest we're pushing for interim government. So we are starting off with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Let's see how Leadership is leading with that story. Leadership. Wow. So, Leadership newspaper. Oh, yes, Leadership. Yes, 31 days. Yeah, so sorry for that glitch. Yes, 31 days after presidential poll, G5 governors move to seal Ayu's fate. So sorry, this was yesterday's leadership. Yes. Yes, we're back now. Your number one nation's leading newspaper, Leadership. Leadership says interim government plots. Security experts, politicians warn against repeat of June 12 crisis. Interim government plots. Security experts, politicians warn against repeat of June 12 crisis. Asks DSS to arrest those behind plan. Nigerians must resist plot, says Bulama Bukati. They are enemies of Nigeria, Senator Adeyeye will not accept any undemocratic government. PDP CSOs, idea senseless. Shehu Sani. Interim government plots, security experts, politicians warn against repeat of June 12 crisis. Ask DSS to arrest those behind plan. Nigerians must resist plot, says Bulama Bukati. They are enemies of Nigeria, Senator Adeyeye will not accept any undemocratic government. PDP CSOs, idea senseless. Shehu Sani. From Nigeria's most influential newspaper, we have other papers carrying the story as well. Let's see how the blueprint caption is. DSS on May 29, Tinubu inauguration. Key political actors plotting interim government. That is on blueprint today. Once any attempt to thwart democracy will be crushed. Cautions judiciary, media, CSOs on yielding to plot. The chance to build Nigeria migrator's birthday gift, President-elect. Buhari APC governors upbeat, confident of Tinubu's capacity. From Blueprint, this day has similar story. DSS, entrenched interest pushing for interim government to undermine civil rule. DSS, entrenched interest pushing for interim government to undermine civil rule. Is fishing expedition, Labour Party scopes at agency. The Nation, DSS warns interim government plotters of dire consequence. DSS warns interim government plotters of dire consequence. Secret police won't tolerate moves to scuttle democracy. Experts, interim government plot treasonable. Daily Sun, DSS confirms plot for interim government. DSS confirms plot for interim government. Fingers political actors, orders. I'll build country of your dreams, Tinubu assures Nigerians. The Punch newspaper. The Punch says Arrest interim government plotters. APC, PDP tell DSS. Arrest interim government plotters. APC, PDP tell DSS. Saboteurs planning court orders. Protest to stop Tinubu's inauguration. Agency. Saboteurs planning court orders. Protest to stop Tinubu's inauguration. Agency. Interim government alien to constitution. Campaigners pseudo-democrats say APC, PDP. Interim government alien to constitution. Campaigners pseudo-democrats say APC, PDP. Polls on Vanguard. Vanguard says pause. DSS confirms plot to install interim government. Warns any attempt by schemers to thwart democracy will be crushed. As judiciary media CSOs to be wary of schemers. Nigerians won't be intimidated into submission. Labour Party. DSS should go beyond announcement. IPAC. No comment, says President-elect's office. It's quite interesting.
Very well.
And this raising alert by DSS that plot to entrench interim government. Is it that political party, do they have that security backup that they can actually come and install interim government?
I think
I
from
don't understand.
I'm
saying that some of just planning court orders. I think you cannot stop people from going to court.
I definitely now. But
To exercising their
right. But the thing is that what from the DSS angle, based on information from the lines of what they read, this is the two parallel information.
Then how can civilians come and plan interim government?
I think if you read the details of what there are three things they mentioned. One was that they are going to plan. There is a plan for mass protests across the country.
Okay.
There was also opportunity whereby this kind of going to court to go and say, okay, court should stop the inauguration of the president. That's one. The other thing.
But the new electoral act, sorry if I'm chipping, the new electoral act says even if you are in court process, it doesn't stop inauguration. So is there not
the issue is
the electoral act?
Not that they are not reading the electoral act. You have to understand the human psyche.
So what judge will grant that order, knowing what is at stake in the electoral act?
If judge can grant order that everybody should go and inspect electoral materials, he can also grant rules that
but that is part of the court
process.
election issues. But this one says
No.
even when the it doesn't stop inauguration, even when election cases are in court.
It could happen. Just mind what I said. The human psychology about what has happened in this election. Everybody is agitating that as if the election. One group is saying the election was rigged. They are the right people that won the election. The other group is saying they are the one that won the election. Election was not rigged.
Yes, as a matter of fact, protests have been going on every day.
Every day. Definitely, but from the angle of the DSS, it's not just an ordinary protest that will just gather by a fountain area in Tama and Abuja. No, it's about people disrupting the peace and tranquility around Nigeria, especially raising up issue of ethnic sentiment and religious bias in this particular exercise of their campaign. Because when I go through what DSS was saying, was like people are planning to raise issues beyond just election, and that's why people are all plotting in a way that they are trying as much as to call in the military to take over, because that's what the DSS.
Oh yes, we saw some of them the other day going visiting some of the protesters.
Exactly.
Yes,
going to military. So those are the things that DSS is reading really to. And beyond that, there are some information they will get on their own, and most of us may not have to be opportunity to read. But from my own angle of understanding this issue, that people are claiming that we win and election was rigged. The other group is saying we won the election was won. So everybody is just putting their forces all together. But the key message is that if all things being done, can we allow the electoral process, electoral tribunal, everything to go on? Even if somebody is inaugurated tomorrow, if the court say he's not the rightful owner, he will be taken away.
Of course, many of them, these protesters also are also looking at the antecedents in the country in the sense that no presidential election has actually been obtained. So obviously, this is how why they are protesting.
It's not that it was not obtained; it was because the people in question who went to the court didn't provide no convincing evidence before the court.
Because you hear some people say that God is not to forget, don't want to see God and all this stuff.
It's not okay. Even if you put it together, it is these political actors that appoint people that end up becoming judges across the country. So for me, on my own understanding, that if you go to the court is not for that this man, and the judge will not just give you what you must prove it beyond reasonable doubt. You can look at what your election, what is happening. You can hear what the appeal court say. After the tribunal said, Adeleke, Oyetola can go. Look at what the appeal court is saying, that Adeleke Oyetola was not able to prove do not take away the burden of the case from where it is, either on INEC or on Adeleke. That one will happen.
And what does it mean by?
And that's why it was left open. So until now, they are
going to
Supreme Court. It is now the Supreme Court now look at, okay, what is the burden of proof? What is the evidence? And what is this? What is that? And Supreme Court will not look at.
And remember that during when the Labour Party, one of the lawyers, by who incidentally were told is the counsel lawyer to Adeleke, and he used the opportunity when he proved that they were not granted access at the beginning by INEC
to check the material.
To stay. He did mention that yes, that is the issue we are having on Beavers today. That in that Osun, he made now made what I saw it was a video that I saw. He made reference to the Osun election. He said, you see, that the Beavers having gone through the bar, that if there was no over voting, could it be that yes, that was before the judgment.
But the issue is that he is talking about if you check all the proceedings of the court, there is ballot paper, yes.
Yes.
Beavers recorded what he is saying there's no overvoting. But the ballot paper that was used in the election, there was overvoting.
So it was not, he made a reference to it that like what is happening playing out at the Osun election now that going through Beavers and all those stuff that it just made one line statement concerning it.
And for them, the lawyers who are the court, they have already understood that this is what is really happening. In the Beavers from the Osun case, there's no overvoting. But the ballot paper that was used for the election, there was overvoting. So it is now left for the APC governorship candidates in Osun to prove it that actually this really happened in the election.
Okay, now coming back to this developing story. So DSS raising alarm. So who could be bigger than the DSS that will come and just entrench or have a pushing for interim government and it comes to pass when you are there?
The thing is that
and besides, in any case, many people are of the opinion that instead of raising the alarm, what about the arrests that have been made? Are you just folding your hands and raising, there are plots to install interim government, whereas we are there?
From my understanding of the DSS, they don't want to eat the political too much of lousy atmospheric incident. In a sense, if they begin the arrest now, it will also tamper some people. And before you know what they are trying to prevent me, right? In a sense, if they begin to arrest the actors,
many pundits were of the opinion that, of course, it did not make any arrest. It did not even make it doesn't have the, how do I put it now? Because we said that up to now, till date, as the administration is going to a close, UAE gave Nigeria the list of financial sponsors, terrorist sponsors, that up to now DSS has not done anything about it. So what is DSS talking about? So people should not express their grievances. So what do you have to say?
For me, from the angle of the DSS, which I understand what they are saying, they may not arrest anybody because arresting anybody already they know exactly, and they already know the people they will arrest. One, to be fair, we all know the movement, the obedient movement. You can see the agitation from their angle.
But the Labour Party has always said that he doesn't subscribe to protest, and he has always I think I've read not once, not twice when the presidential candidate has said no, that he believes in the judiciary, so let the law take its course.
He is saying one thing, his members are saying another thing. Maybe if you have been following most of their members.
If you also follow, even right from when INEC and made the announcement, it was actually PDP,
that went for protest.
And even PDP, some PDP members were even calling for that. Why won't we also call his members to join? And he said it was not going to do that. So what are we saying here?
The issue is this: the politicians are just playing the psychological game. What the DSS have been able to play out is what they may want to do. One, mass protest. Two, use the judiciary.
Just like what you are saying now, I'm just saying it. Even now on this day says Obi attempt to ascribe ethno-religious motives to obedient movement will fail.
Definitely, he has been saying it right from time that it's not a religious movement, it's not a church thing, it's not a Christian thing, but it's the entire Nigeria. But the issue is that if you go deeper into understanding the mindset of every member of that group, everybody have their own interest. And that's why people normally ascribe, they are this set of people. They are this set of people. Imagine someone pointing out and say, okay, how could it be that all his legal team are from one side of the country? All his legal team at one side of the world. So all these things point to this. But he himself have already said that it is not like that. And that's why you see the majority of Nigerians that are supporting, they are coming from various diverse backgrounds. But the key thing still remains that each one of these members of this group, what is their own interest? Because we must understand aspects. Because if you understand aspects, that's why you now understand why the DSS will come with an open check announcement and say, we know people are planning this A, B, C, D, and they may not make arrests.
So with this alarm raised by DSS, do Nigerians have any cause to worry?
Definitely, Nigerians will have to be worried, but at the same time, they also have to keep their cool. Keep their cool in the sense that if anybody is trying to push you and say, okay, let us do this, let us do that, not to just do that, no, it's not the right thing to do. Let us just keep our calm and relax. And for the DSS, they're already playing the psychological game in Nigeria to understand the level of this kind of movement. As it is now, everybody have now understood, okay, if there's any plot, any plan by anybody, DSS is aware. And they are watching. And that's why they're also calling on the media.
This call now backdates what El-Rufai said is even the president-elect during the electionary, when they were having calling the block of CBN government. The Kaduna State Governor, Malam Nasir El-Rufai, did say that there were plans to install interim government.
So even before
it backdated before this time around. And even president-elect did also mention the same thing there, because they said there were plans to scuttle the election or the alternative.
Create the opportunity for us. And you know that it was.
So, and the DSS did not ask them.
They know that was before the election. And you know they may be watching events at that particular point. And again, as I said, they may not want to quickly rush into the open space and begin to.
So obviously, these people talking from and the APC members, chieftains, and given the fact that their party is in power, you know that and coming from DSS now. So does that mean that there's something actually going on?
Definitely. If you remember, Pastor
from that same party, because it's not because these are people of the same party that will say that they were plans to install the people don't want the
APC to return back to power or Tinubu to come to power.
And now after the election, DSS is also receiving the same amount. Are you seeing
any correlation or synergy? Now let's go back far. Someone from the Pastor Bakari or someone that talk about the government or national unity, entering government, whatever. No, it was even one of what's the name, Professor, the owner of this university in Ekiti, one senior advocate of Nigeria, one elderly man. I've forgotten his name. He was the first person that talked about interim government. That was before December. Then Pastor Bakari also.
He was criticizing the constitution, and that is not working with the current constitution that left to him. There's no need conducting the election. Let's have a interim government in place while at the same time fixing
a new election date.
No, the constitution, during the constitution as a whole before election time. I think that was it, and of course many people took him to task.
They took him to task and began to extract some things from what he was saying, because one, he was a little bit on the opposite side in the electoral system. He was on the opposite side. So people will begin to read meaning that this guy, why are you saying this? Is it because you are not seeing your favorite candidate coming out? Yes, it was not on the side of the APC right from the beginning. That is the person in question. Now, the whole issue is like, from my own angle, the planning of mass protests, using the judiciary to scuttle the everything, and to also call out, some things that will also, change the narrative around the inauguration of the president-elect, is what the DSS is pointing out, and we cannot rule it out. Even in 2019, we saw some of this kind of things. In 2015, it came up. In every election year, once there is a new president-elect, and you must also see this kind of trend that people will be coming out and say, this person and that thing, and the election will not work. Even up to May 29. And after May 29, we'll still be hearing and people will still be playing up this kind of card that this thing is not right, let us do this, let us do that. And it has been plain truth that people are really calling on the military to take over.
Some people are disenchanted. Well, viewers, let's go on a break. When we come back, we are going to be looking at other issues the paper has on that cover today. Don't go away, just stay tuned.
sponsorship, and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Yes, you're welcome back. The program is Inside Nigeria, and this course is your number one breakfast show on television, and this is Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Igbeban. With me in the studio has been a political scientist and a public affairs analyst, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the program, and I can't say it enough. So we are looking at today's the Guardian. The leading story says punish those behind 450 cases of poll violation. National Human Rights Commission CSOs insist punish those behind 450 cases of poll violation. National Human Rights Commission CSOs insist. And National Human Rights Commission says 450 human rights violation cases recorded during elections. CHRICED 2023 polls reveal Nigeria's declining democracy. You should explain to Nigerians why beavers develop many faults, CSOs tell INEC. Those giving ethnic religious coloration to obedient movement parochial, says Obi. This is a leading story on The Guardian. Of course, on The Guardian, you also have pictures of the protests that have been taking place since the elections. You see tension as residents of Victoria Garden City refuse to vote outside the estate. Okay, these are some of the election violation cases that Guardian has on Discover today to corroborate the story, the leading story it has on Discover. Violence during 2023 general elections. Tension as residents of Victoria Garden City refuse to vote outside the estate. We saw another one, arrest made by the police for alleged disruption of voting and destruction of ballot boxes at Guamaje area of Dala local government area, Kano State. What do you say?
A very interesting story.
And before we also begin to think of those cases, 450 cases is quite a lot. And of course, it's across the country. But the one issue that I keep saying, I've been still saying it until the police, the IGP react, is that policemen were caught on camera aiding thuggery, aiding intimidation of voters during the past concluded presidential Nance and Uba House of Assembly elections. And the police up to now is yet to issue statements on that.
Definitely. One of the things that the IGP came out to say after the review, I think he had a meeting with all the strategic commanders to review that during the election.
The IGP and the PRO or what, first PRO, they want to tell Nigerians that they are not privy to those videos that are trending.
They may watch it, and they may also want to say, okay, we'll look at the other side. Let us do it for it. The way police work. Let us do it for
the IGP has always been saying that, those cases, as the election violators have been, it gives numbers and all this thing. And I've been waiting to say, and including my men, look at what we are going to do. And nothing on that has come out of the mouth of IGP.
We should just expect him to say one or two things, because they also.
When will he say it? When, after the elections have been completed?
The issue is that, after the meeting they had this week, the strategic commander was to review their role in the election, and there will be a report after that.
Well, we even saw some cases that even policemen actually themselves carried these ballot boxes, entered a van, an open van, just like that. People were protesting, and they're just going away with the ballot boxes. And we've never counted it. They enter, they climb into the van, the open van, and they drove away.
But one we should understand that these kind of videos that we are seeing, definitely the police will look at it. They want to.
And they said that maybe they are in mass. They took place in mass.
They will not say they are in mass. They will know that it took place in Nigeria. But the location of where those things happen, they want to locate it. And most times when you see policemen that are doing this kind of thing, they may be policemen attached to particular
that's
politician.
just why I like there was a editorial, mainly that presidential election. took place. The Punch newspaper did an editorial on it, and it was quite a scanty one. He said, again, I have not forgotten it, again, Buhari, INEC, police disappoint Nigerians.
Definitely. We is it one thing
And it was quite explicit. The role of police, how they were in Lagos and other states.
the thing is that
Punch did not mince words.
Mince
He
words.
called them out.
But one thing we must understand in our electoral system, electoral process is the roles that security agencies play right from 1999, 2007 was one of the worst. Then 2011, then 2015, then now 2023, is that they always have that pinch of engaging themselves in the unwelcoming way. Unwelcoming way in the sense that we know that they're supposed to play an unbiased empire system. But as I said earlier before now, that if you find such policemen doing such things, they could be policemen attached to a particular police or political actor. They are the ones that mostly commit such crime. But the ones that they sent to go and mount junction, those ones that, because most of them may come from outside of the state, they may not have that understanding of
But
the
some
terrain.
that were even there's some that were just there, just like you pointed out, they were watching even as the political actors were doing their thing, and they did not even intervene. They didn't say no, because we saw whether it's a chairman of the local government or not, who came to a polling unit, brought out the from the ballot boxes, brought out the ballot papers, we checked, and was started tearing them. And policemen were there.
And don't be surprised that those policemen will be one attached to him as the local government chairman, or the one they will not be armed.
Policemen there. And I think the person that was videoing it, maybe the policeman, I think he shifted. He wanted him to actually capture it very good. That's what I
You saw.
because he moved. He looked back and moved away from the
But it's man about it.
yes.
But for me, because from like in 2014, when we had such erroneous activities of
If government
security,
have immunity, does local governments again their chairman, they have immunity?
they also executive chairman. Are we forgetting that we're practicing presidential local government system?
But do they have immunity? Does
They have
immunity cover them?
Cover
That's what I
them,
want to know.
yes.
So it doesn't cover
Except when they are on
except,
suspension. They cover.
legislators. I know it doesn't cover
It
legislators.
doesn't
Only
cover
government is covered.
They cover the executive. They are branch of the executive, local government chairman and their vice. Yes, and again, we are practicing presidential local government system, which also gives them that kind of enormous power. A local government chairman is like a president. He's like the president of the domain. That's why I say that they can do and undo, except when the governor kills them. So at this point in time, they also have that immunity clause to cover. That's why you don't see that nobody take any local government chairman to court. If you take them to court, you won't get anything until after they are terminated. And that's what is happening. But from what we have been seeing so far in these erroneous activities of security agencies, from my own findings, that most of these policemen are attached to political actors. Because if policeman that doesn't know anything about a particular location, you now go and hijack ballot boxes. The people say, how? I mean, they may not even have the opportunity to do that. And most times, those policemen that normally do that, they do it in consonance with those ones on ground that are not armed. That's why they just come, they plan it ahead, come and just do it. And if you find out at the end of the day, they may take it to one hideout has already been planned by the political actors. Because then they say they can't take it to the police station and they can't take it to any hideout. It is where the political actors ask them to take it to. And that's why they take it to. That's why I see that when Clay Foundation do the in 2015, when they do the review of 2015 election and 2019 election, these are the things they pointed out that most policemen that carried out these terminals are attached to political actors, not ordinary policeman that was just sent to go on the electoral work, that it was posted from Abuja to Lagos or posted from Ogun to Sokoto or wherever. They don't have that understanding of the terrain, but those ones that have been there understand the terrain very well.
So now they said punish those behind 450 cases of corruption. What do we expect? Do we have a electoral tribunal to do that?
Definitely,
or it's just going to be a regular?
It will still fall into the hands of INEC. The report we are having, this one is from National Human Rights Commission. This is their own gazetted report, the one they have covered by themselves. Other CSO like TMG, all of them will also have their report, and I know it may be even more than this.
Yes,
more than this is thousands. But for them, they are going to, in conjunction with INEC, and majorly they are looking at the human rights violation, not the electoral violation itself, the human rights angle of the electoral issue. That's what they are looking at. Maybe a policeman slapped somebody, a policeman beat somebody, or there was a quarrel somewhere and the police did not act as expected. Those are the things they want to look. Not use snatching ballot box. National Human Rights Commission will not look at the but human rights angle of the election Why were people beating? Why were policemen chasing? Those are the things they are going to look at. And they will do it in consonance with the police. Meanwhile, the victims of these cases must also be prepared to appear. Because Human Rights Commission cannot just say, okay, we have 450 cases and they are ghosts. Where are the victims? Then who does this? At what time? At which places? At what location? So these are the things that Human Rights Commission will bring up. I think recently there has been a case in Gonuna whereby they are investigating the military in the act of some of the human rights violations, and there is a tribunal seated organized by Human Rights Commission, and it's up to date. So I just hope that they will be able to apply that in this. But for INEC, INEC on its own is already preparing, for though they will know they are preparing for the litigation of most of the court cases over 3 billion. That's what they are putting.
And they said it's not even enough.
It will never be enough because they are going to iron sand. The same sand that will be on this one, they are not going to bring them.
Don't be surprised. Their legal team.
No, they have their legal department, but the legal department most of the time will only sought for other senior lawyers because all of them they are not enough in that team, so they have to sought for other lawyers. That's why you see that the same lawyers, the same stand that is defending Labour Party, who may be on the other side again defending INEC on the other side, or maybe that's why it is because they will look at the evidence and what most of the beauty of the cases before they assign. And it's juicy, just like EFCC. When you do one case for INEC, out of this 3 billion, if a site can be able to squeeze out like 60 million, you know what it means, and they'll all be interested. And definitely, the legal team of INEC will not be able to body in this kind of cases that they are. So they will have to hire extra hands from outside. And the extra hand they are hiring from outside.
And that is why it should also put its hands together. But if the election is perceived to be fair and fair, I don't think anybody will need this kind of a huge amount to bring to court, because at the end of the day, you would have satisfied all criteria for the election, and so there will be minimal
or going to a case for post-election.
Exactly.
But the thing is that
because we've never seen it this bad, like everybody trying to go to court.
Definitely, it's an opportunity.
Because even 2015, yes, we all know that President Goodluck Jonathan, former president, called but there was nothing. It wasn't like this.
The party still went to court.
Because we always see that it's only President Buhari then when he was on the side that was going to court and everything. But we didn't really have a situation whereby now we have for the presidential, we have PDP itself, we have a Labour Party, we don't have other two parties.
And more are still coming.
Okay, more are still coming.
And you know that it is not just the presidential.
And the state is also the same
also coming. The state House of Assembly, everything.
So much so that Nigerians are now giving a heroic welcome to the Abia State Rep. So OT, which normally supposed to be a job.
Exactly. I mean, I don't even say anything in that, but the only thing is that we just prefer that everybody should. Yeah, I don't know.
But that the people are hailing her for the fact that she was able to, for her tenacity, she wrote that she didn't buy it. Remember the time it took for
them to make their
exactly to be declared, because she said she was under pressure. They were pressurizing her to, towards undermine the
process. It will always happen. Even if you are the one in that position, you always find one or two things to say that you're under pressure. Even when you know that it is clear that this is the person that wins, and you're going to make her not well. One thing I just want to celebrate about her is that she's a woman and she stood out.
But you know what somebody said? I was monitoring a radio newspaper review just like us, and the person was like, why would she have collected those gifts? Wouldn't she have returned it to INEC? But she's not just doing her job. That to his mind, that is also corruption. What do you speak about?
It's a gift, it's appreciation to her. But on a good time, she would have just let go and say no. In a sense that, in our own climb, when people begin to give you things, it's an expectation of tomorrow good from you. So what that person says is very correct, because by the time you collect from those people, one day they will need something from you. And when you come back, they will remind you of what it is.
Did you see the video of the heroic welcome?
It was very
very celebrated by the students in the institution.
But other residential electoral are supposed to be celebrated, not just because of Labour Party won. What about states that we know clearly that APC will win or PDP will win, and they won? So why are they not celebrated?
Who knows? Maybe those ones were not under pressure to undermine.
Because it is clear that if the party will win. It's just our own was very clear that if she hasn't stood her ground, and
they didn't even announce for 2 or 3.
But we must also remember Abia election has always been like that. I remember in 2015,
the one that brought in the
we knew what the
governor
and the governor was presently in that devolution center, that particular period. So Abia election is always that tough. And that's why OT himself ascribed that he has been winning elections. That this one that I want to ascribe to somebody.
I was
Yes,
like,
no.
no, it's too early for him to be saying that.
That's
Just thank God that
Yes,
he has
yes,
won, he
yes.
has won, and that he was in the party actually before.
yes, no. That was what I was saying.
So that is all we can take today on today's Inside Nigeria. We seem to have discussed the two major stories leading in all the papers today, which is on the VSS and the election violators. But we have same time, same station. Tomorrow is another day. Don't forget to join us tomorrow. Defolari, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to host the program. So till I come your way again tomorrow, this is Winifred saying, have a good night, wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.